We are, again, pouring through the absolute wealth of information. I don't know where you're getting your analysis from regarding Charlie, but I'll tell you where I've been looking, and the information is glorious. Bar none, bar none, hands down, hands down. The analysis and the questions of Alex Jones, top of the list. Top. Everybody sits back and just watches maybe conventional news and just starts waxing philosophic about some imaginary connection that they have with the world of sniping and security. These people don't know anything about this. But all of a sudden, for reasons I don't know, they're sniping experts and they're weapons experts and they know all about a professional hit job, and they're just saying it. And you ask them, well, what do you mean? I don't know. We have so many questions, so many great questions. But the thing that is the most fun, if there is such a term, if you like analyzing, don't jump to the conclusion. Somebody said the other day that Charlie said something to the effect of, I think Israel's going to do me in. Why? I don't know. So people are saying, well, that's it. Now, are you supposed, do you believe that's it? Because Charlie said this? I don't know. I say more than anybody else, I don't know. I don't know this. I'm not sure. We'll talk about this. We're going to talk about this and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I hope you're ready. I hope you brought your popcorn with you and a nice drink, because we are ready to go on this very, very sad and horrible, horrible, horrible day. But it brings us together and makes us think about the bigger picture, the bigger extrapolations and the like. Let me bring a couple of things to your attention. First of all, as I told you this, you know, our sponsor, preparewithlionel.com, has been with us, and I have never felt that their words, their facilities are more prescient probably than now. You can feel what is happening. There is a radicalized sense of big problems. We'll talk about this Podesta plan. I don't know if you've heard this. But a lot of this is coming to fruition. And they are planning for and would love there to be an absolute civil war of some sort, for lack of a better word. Maybe not a civil war, but a conflagration that nobody's ever seen before. You can feel it. The world isn't stable anymore. It's not about New York. It's not about LA or Chicago. It's about everywhere. It's about the country. It's an attitude. Remember one thing. Social media connects all of the psychos together. If you were raised in Portsboro, Idaho, I just made that up. I don't even know what that is. A town of 1,500. In the old days, you really didn't know how evil things got because you had to go out of your way to look at magazines and look at movies. Not anymore. Now, the insanity of New York or Hollywood or Austin or wherever, Portland, is now become everywhere. So don't give me this business. It's everywhere. Things we used to dismiss as impossible are happening right in front of us. George Floyd, all of these BLM and Antifa, these are dress rehearsals. And nobody wants to think that. You think that. You're ready. I'm ready to go. I mean, I'm saying, when I say ready to go, where are you going to leave? There's no leaving this. What once felt far-fetched and impossible 5 years ago is now daily reality. This is not, you see, our people who were hurt never, and I'm thankful for this, it never results in violence. When people killed Martin Luther King, might have been James Earl Ray, might have been others, they rioted. They didn't say, well, they didn't sit around and talk about it. They didn't sit and say, can you believe the terrible things that are being said in support of the murder and the assassination of our leader? No, they reacted. I don't want violence, but we talk. They're not planning to talk. Nothing's safe or protected anymore. Systems that we thought were unshakable are fragile. We always think food, shelves don't stay stocked forever. Trucks don't always roll. One blackout, one strike, one supply chain hiccup, one storm, one act of violence, and the safety net we trust vanishes overnight. Think I'm exaggerating? Now picture this. Just 1 week with no real food. What would you do? This is serious. I was listening to Alex today. He was talking about he's in fear, and he should be. And I hope to God I don't pray, but if I did, I'd pray for him and others. He's talking about getting his family to high ground. So what do you do? Things that people never thought they'd say. And the most important is, what do I do if it really hits the fan and I've got to go, let's say, a week? And I've got to live not on snacks, not on takeout, no DoorDash or any of that stuff, but the hard calories, clean water your family needs to live. That's when you learn the truth. Cash, credit cards, cash cards, crypto, even gold, it won't feed you. It means nothing. Survival is primal. Food, water, energy, and ammo. It's ancient and it's reality. That's why, my friends, the waiting is a mistake. My Patriot Supplies 3-month food kit gives you over 2,000 calories a day, 22 meal varieties, and a shelf life of up to 25 years. If you don't act upon this now, you're not paying attention. And I can't help you. Maybe you need an invitation. But the good news is, if there is good news, for a limited time, they're adding 4 extra weeks free. That's a $247 value at no extra cost. So the world right now has changed. The stakes are higher. The risks are closer. And what you laughed at, what you thought was ridiculous and tinfoil hat prepper stuff 5 years ago isn't like that now. It's happening now. Don't gamble. Don't gamble on hunger. Don't assume the system will always be there. Preparation is key. Preparation isn't paranoia, it's survival. Preparewithlionel.com. Click the link in the description section, preparewithlionel.com, and lock down savings, your food, your safety, your family, your future. Preparewithlionel.com. I don't even know where to start with this thing. People are coming out of the woodwork. All of a sudden, everybody's an expert. Everybody is an expert. Everybody knows a professional hit job, a hit team. It's really laughable. You don't know anything about this. But here's the thing. Your instincts are indicate something that's very, very right. Something very, very right and very, very real. Very, very real. Something is going on here that you should be aware of, that you should pay attention to. Something very, very real here. Now, a couple of things which are very interesting as well. I mentioned this before. And again, when it comes to Harrison and Alex today, some of the best questions ever. See, let me explain something to you. In regular media, the foremost job of most of these people is to present themselves and to have all the focus of the attention on themselves. Look at me. Am I pretty? How's my hair? How's my makeup? I'm sorry, but it's true. Get a picture of me crying over Charlie Kirk. Let me show a picture of me and Charlie. Did you see this? Charlie was on my show. I was on Charlie's show. Blah, 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 blah. Otto Morin. I'm special. I'm involved. I'm connected. I don't have time for that. I really don't. And the people in the other world, the people in regular conventional talk radio, what they'll do is they'll point to just what's being said. Hey, there's a story. And if it's not in the news, If it's not in the front cover, it's not done. If it's on the front page, look who's there. Strangers back. Israel needed to get the Qatar debacle off President Trump's mind, so Mossad deleted his friend Charlie Kirk, who was beginning to soften his Palestinian stance and still pursued Epstein issue. Plausible? Plausible? Sure. Sure. Worth the trip? No. Worth the effort? No. Will that necessarily bring about? No. A lot of work, a lot of risk to get so many things going on. With all due respect, and I love you to death, my friend, Charlie Kirk was not as big as you think. U.S. Navy Academy on lockdown. Also, UMass today, too. There was a shooting. There is something coming, my friends. People feel it. People feel it. Now, let me go back to Sparky. I think you're 100%. It's plausible. Would I put my money on it? No. Not for other things. Oh, yeah. This is too connected to what? No. You've got the entire world right now. Sparky, you know this. The entire world is focused against Israel. Specifically what's going on, not Israel per se, but what's going on in terms of Gaza. Charlie Kirk was not the linchpin. He had a couple of people on his turning point saying, no. If that is true, and again, it is not within the realm of possibilities, because what you lined up is not beyond it, then they are the most chicken shit of any country in the world. It's ridiculous to risk one of their agents, one of their operatives, unless it is so far back. And remember, the message has to be clear. Everybody blames Mossad for everything. I'm not saying they're not, but they love that. They love the fact that you think they're that good. They're trying to get away from the fact that they blew October the 7th. Max Blumenthal said something of interest one time. They asked him, do you really believe that it's possible for Israel to have not anticipated or to have allowed October the 7th? And Max said, I never thought about it. He says, yeah, they're incompetent. They don't have the military. Their IDF is a bunch of conscripts. They're not what you think. They don't have the firepower. Everything they have, we give them. This is mythical. They are so good in creating the narrative. They have created this idea that they are the best and the greatest. And they've done some incredible hits that we think. Remember the tennis rackets and the one. So we will see. But if they did this, if they think this is going to somehow take Trump's mind, Trump's not thinking anything about, let me get this straight. Trump's not thinking anything about Qatar. Not even, nobody in this country is talking about Qatar. Sparky, you know this. Hamas was created, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but Hamas was created by Israel. This was deliberate. You know this. I know this. It was a front to counter Arafat's Fatah. We know this. Where did the money come from? Qatar. Where was Hamas? In Qatar. When Hamas was going to leave Qatar, Anthony Blinken said, no, don't stay. Stay there. You're safe there. He says, you're safe. He says, yes, you're safe there. Okay. So what did they do? They killed leaders. They bombed basically Qatar, and they said, what are you doing? Trump doesn't know anything. They're handing him the orders. He says, okay, I'll do it. He doesn't know. He couldn't find Qatar on a map. Sparky says, that's my point. Kirk wasn't so big. The effect his death might have on distracting President Trump was. No. I bet this is not going. Distract Trump? Trump right now is going to be, if anything, he's flying in right now as we speak to Yankee Stadium. He's going to use this for a while. I've got news for you. I don't want anybody to understand this. Most people have no idea who Charlie Kirk is. I'm sorry. They really don't. They might now. Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody has any idea of what Charlie Kirk was. He did some wonderful things. He did some to get people. But I've got to tell you something. Some of the stuff that he said over the years was stupid or mean or whatever that a lot of people have said, that the left says, that the right says. So this fellow deliberately pissed people off, which gives nobody the right. But understand, it was like this. It wasn't just, I'm going to college campuses to try to recruit people. I want to piss people off. Oh, you say you were a girl, huh? Where were you born? What are your pronouns? That's stupid. I told you this morning, if you want to win people over, that ain't the way to do it. I don't know how many people it was great for Turning Point. I think he really liked it. Why didn't he have, Mrs. L had the best point ever. Why don't we have one of those plexiglass things? What difference would it make? Have a one of those bulletproof. Why not? The real question is, why not a drone? Why not a drone? Another thing, we were talking to some folks, and we have this idea that, well, that was some shot. Really? There are kids. This was, they said, with 30-06. There are kids with other weapons who are so proficient. You don't know how good people are. One of the problems apparently that they said that Trump, I don't know if it was a 2.2, whatever it was. I'm not a long rifle thing, but that in other situations with Trump's assassination attempt in Butler, one of the reasons why it didn't hit him was because of the fact that it wasn't as powerful and the wind can deflect it. But the shot is not that great. Nobody is saying this is wow. No. And the reason why people are saying, why did they go for center of mass? Because probably he had body armor on. Now, I don't want to sit here and have you think that I'm Delta Special Ops or I'm some SEAL Team 6. I'm not. I'm just telling what people. Now, there are some pictures going along of people doing like this. Did you see this? Almost like third base coaches. You know what I mean? They're standing behind him. What did that signal? What do you need that for? I don't know. Did you see that? Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? And people said, yeah, that's it. That's it. If remember, half of the pictures, have you seen the ones going along? There's a website, I'm not going to mention it, but they say that, look, Charlie Kirk's wearing a ring on this finger, and then in the next finger, it's this finger. He had a ring. It was a ring on the ring finger, and then it's the pinky. And therefore, boy, that AI, and it was a microphone cord or something. We have people on our teams looking, they don't believe anything. Irina in Zaletsky, I'm sorry, the Iranian young girl in Charlotte. Oh, that was another one too. How come she went like this and she felt like this and it was just what is the matter with people? There are other people. I live in a world of bullshit. Pardon me. Excuse me. I got more people who say, oh, I know everything about everything. I know guns and weapons and trajectories, and I know sniping, and I know tactical this and that, and I've never been in the military. I don't even hunt, but by God, they're experts, and it's a professional job, or it's not a professional job. It's a professional job, or it's not a professional job. Then we got them to, it's Israel. God damn it. Everything is Israel, up and down. They've only been talking about targeting this guy forever. Alex today went through a series of folks online pointing out to specific threats against Charlie Kirk by everybody you can imagine. And if Israel wanted to take him out, they had to stand in line. because they've been doing nothing but targeting this guy since day one. And do you think that if they did this, if, as you say, Mossad did this, Trump's got to know, that was Mossad. If he thought it was some left-wing group, that doesn't distract him from anything regarding Qatar or Israel, because he'll say it had nothing to do with it. So remember, everything that we say, we have to understand, are they that stupid? And is there going to be this, one of the things you don't want to do is to do a hit to make a point. You want it to end something. You want it to end something. Martin Luther King was like nobody else. There was no one else. To end his life is to end the movement. Our good friend Sparky says, you still don't get it. Kirk's death was to distract Trump because, right or wrong, Trump liked him. The extraordinary extra news coverage about Kirk is to make President Trump forget about Qatar. I'm saying you don't get it. He's not thinking about Qatar. He doesn't care about Qatar. He's distracted from everything. They're going to give him what he has to do to keep either Israel, Bibi, AIPAC, or whomever happy. He is not going to say, wait a minute, guys, hold it. I can't talk about Qatar now. Oh, Charlie Kirk. I love Charlie Kirk. I can't do this. I don't talk to me about I'm sorry, Bibi, I can't talk to you now. I'm sorry, no. And all the attack of Iran, no, that's over. I can't. I got Charlie Kirk on my mind. What, are you kidding me? I love this distraction. I mean, it's a good idea, and I appreciate it. Thank you for your. It's ridiculous. You think Trump's going to sit there and give a shit about this? You're going to have to explain this to him, Mr. President. This is Charlie. Yeah, I know. Trump survived an assassination attempt himself. He didn't see Charlie the other way. He doesn't give a shit about anybody but Trump and his family. And I'm not saying he's a mean guy, but the idea that Trump is traumatized by this, that he's going to stop, Bibi, I'm sorry, I can't talk about Qatar. I can't. Or I'm sorry, Marco Rubio, Witkoff, Lutkin. I'm sorry, I can't do this. I'm so distracted. What? Trump is like, nothing distracts him. Nothing. Who knows? And if somebody says, see, Muslims, whatever. That's like all of a sudden, and you'll love this one, all of a sudden, who was it? Tucker is saying, well, that Bibi was, look, I'm no fan of Bibi in the least, but would you stop this demon, this focus, this, pardon my French, this hard on you have for Israel? Everything to you is Israel. Bibi is probably thinking, damn, everything. Israel is the least. That's no. If you sit there and you watch Katie Halper, Max Blumenthal, Aaron Monte, Mehdi Hassan, Abby, this and that, Max Blumenthal, you will be. I mean, there are people who the reporter Albanese. There are people 24/7. The beginning, they get up in the morning and the time they go to bed. It's Gaza. That's it. It's all they know. That's all they know. Everything. And if you spend your time, if that's on your YouTube rotation, you will swear this is, and it is to some people, the only thing they talk about. That's it. I got news for you, my friend. Americans couldn't care less about Israel, Gaza. Yeah. To show you how much, I mentioned this recently. I mentioned this before. Marcia Kramer is a New York new reporter alumna. She is an institution. And she was talking to Zoran Mamdani. She says, Are you really thinking about maybe withholding any kind of an investment or divesting, I should say, from any kind of pension plans because of Israel? And Mamdani said, yeah. And she said, boy, this guy is radical. And you would say, Sparky, Marsha, don't you know what the world is saying? You being a famous New York reporter, she'd say, no, what are they saying? Marsha, the world is against Israel. Really? Really? Yes. Huh. Really? Wow, this is gonna and the best is the best are the other ones who sit around and they say, wow, that's gonna end Mamdani. Why? Because once the voters find out that he's divesting from Israel, I'm saying nobody gives a shit about Israel or Mamdani. Nobody knows anything about this. Qatar. Ask anybody. Qatar. What does this have to do with Hamas, Hezbollah? Which one's Lebanon? When you live in a world so focused by something where everything that you, from the moment you get up to the time you go to bed, is Israel, you think everybody thinks. Trust me, nobody's thinking about Israel today. Sparky says, watch them try to blame Iran for Kirk's death. Maybe it's a welcome distraction for President Trump. Iran? He's giving now you're changing the issue. He's giving BB shit about whatever, and Iran says, hey, you can't talk about BB like that. That's our buddy. Nobody's thinking Israel. Nobody. They're thinking some left. Sparky, are you honest to God? Are you seriously listening to what these sick people were saying over and over and over today? They're coming out of the woodwork. Doctors, DAs, professors, people with businesses thriving, going online saying, this is my name, this is who I am. It's almost like they've got the message. There's going to be a revolution coming up. And the last thing, and people are thinking, these rat bastards, people are jumping up and down, lauding, celebrating his death. And they're going to say, Iran? Qatar? Israel? What? And I got news for you. The girl who was killed by that black psycho that has more of a resonance, but already that's forgotten. Sparky, we have a 3-day list, we sit Shiva for 3 days. That's it. It's over. Charlie Kirk, that's it. We're still talking about it, but now we're into it. But let me explain to you something, and this is the most important. This is the most important thing, and I wanted you to listen to me very carefully. And I tried to explain this to some folks, but they're not following through with this. But I think they will. I think it's important that they grasp it. This is important. Every time there is some type of an event, it works like this. Usually the assailant, the assassin, is found and identified immediately. This is not that case, thus allowing the grieving and the sadness and the funereal, sometimes lugubrious, but that is filling the void. That is bigger than we've never seen this before. Usually, remember that school shooting? You had the lunatic with the trans. And also, are you believing this guy writes on the jacketed bullets or the things about trans or fascism? Sparky, the persistent one, says, don't forget the CIA, MI6. The rest of Five Eyes and the globalist intelligence. Oh, and don't forget too, the Red Brigade. Don't forget Satanists. They're there. Sparky. This is Charlie Kirk. This is not apology. I'm not. I know people are going to take this the wrong way. This is a guy that was like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, whatever. Charlie Kirk went out and did some stuff, but he is in the pantheon. He was one of those. Oh, those are those folks, the usual ones, the Glenn Becks, the now Megyn Kellys, the throw in Laura Loomer. Be very careful. I mean, all these other people. Charlie Kirk's message was also so base. I hope you don't think this is sacrilegious. It's terrible what they did. Nobody deserves it, especially a father with these beautiful little kids. But I wouldn't have wasted my time talking about people. Your pronoun is this. Well, you're really a woman, and you know you're crazy. And let's talk about those trans. Let's talk about those trans killers. What do you think about the trans killers? Now, what they're saying today is that was the signal. That was the signal for some reason to alert the shooter. Why do they do this? Because people look at things and they will create a Mossad or a hit team or something. They will create the storyline to make it as cloak and dagger as possible, if that makes any sense. They really love that. They love it. Absolutely love it. So I don't know. There was a guy standing behind him. He's sort of behind her to the side, and he supposedly is going to like doing a third big ghost. Have you seen this? You see this? You see that? Okay. What happened was he was standing behind or right near Charlie Kirk. So anybody who's a spotter, you better really trust that shooter. If you're standing like behind him, you do know that if the further the distance away, the greater the deviation of. If you're aiming something like this versus like this, one little 200 yards away turns out to be, a barn door. So you've got spotters behind. Now, let me explain something to you. People are misunderstanding. And I know what I'm saying. I know people just are going to say, you don't understand. He meant a lot to young people. I'm not saying he didn't or wasn't important. People aren't listening to what I'm saying. They can't. People don't understand nuance. They don't understand yes, but no. This, but that. Yes, but no. All of a sudden, overnight, this sad person, now of course they have the picture, the automatic picture of whoever dies, whether you're Ozzy Osbourne, now you're with Jesus and you're hanging out with Hulk Hogan in heaven. We infantilize death. We love to take it and reduce it to some Disney motif. Sparky says, you're right about the attention span. Are they slow walking, finding the assassin to stretch the public's attention span? I don't think they know anything. They stopped two people. They don't know this. They stopped two people and let them go. Who could be, I don't know, Sparky, could have been a distraction. Somebody said, they immediately said the airport, the airport, which is 5 minutes away, whatever, wasn't shut down. So there's I wouldn't be surprised. That's my code for it. This is what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if that killer is nowhere. He's gone. Not in another country, but gone. Nowhere to be found. Did you see his look? Looked like a gazillion other people. He's got an alibi. The fact is, somebody wanted him out. And the others, they wanted the person so you could see him. They wanted to turn the gun on himself. And all the others, oh, look, here's my manifesto. I'm a crazy. I'm a lunatic. I'm filled with hate. Not here. No noise, no mention, no nothing. Done. You figure it out. We're out of here. That's what makes me think that's very good. You see, what happens is, in that lunatic, the butler. By the way, these people aren't crazy. I keep saying lunatic. Sometimes I say it out of almost a sense of a reflex. But in the butler case, this person was very ill prepared, and they just. But if somebody really, really wanted to do this, if really good, you would have had people handoffs where you either you pick up the material, you give them the gun, you give them this, you have multiple layered clothes, you take the top layer off so that there's new clothing, and you walk, whatever. There's a car waiting, you're out the door. Somebody was suggesting it's better to be inside. Inside, you got to get out. You got to go through doors. You got to see people. On top of a roof is better. This is simple. But we don't know. There could be somebody right now, tomorrow, who somewhere says goodbye, cruel world, but not one person, not one manifesto, not one lunatic. See, I would have also picked up Palantir. I would have said, okay, listen, Teal. Do me a favor. I want you to go through your little bag of tricks there, your Gotham programming or whatever it is, and I want you to find out who this guy was. And tell me who it is, unless it's BB, and then I'm not interested. So we can play this all day. Who knows? I don't know. I can give you that idea. And anybody who comes on and says, this is what happened, they don't know what they're talking about. Let me ask this question. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you feel confident with Kash Patel? Why are the media hyping Kirk like he was the second coming? They barely even mention when Neil Armstrong. That's because Neil Armstrong was older. And you're right. I don't know. It's also automorn and overkill. Klana Steve, Dreamkiller, says they found the gun totally intact with convenient writing all over it. That seems really unlikely. No, it makes me think a little suspicious. It's a little too. So a guy who's that sloppy to leave, I'm going to write this stuff on here, following every other lunatic theme and mimetic from before, is going to be one of the best. This guy's in and out. Check out the old, you see that guy, what was his name? Not Zim or whatever. Check out the old coot who said, get your hand off me. Who was he? Eduardo Camilo. Thank you, my friend. That's a different story. I don't know about that. But it's fish. I'm not buying. I mean, when I say I'm not buying, I'm saying, too obvious. Too obvious. You see, because here's the thing, and this is the most important part. What do you think it does to your narrative? What do you think it does to your narrative? If you're going after Charlie because he is a bad person that says terrible things about whatever, and he's a Trumpy and all that stuff, why do you think they would allow him to be to have the killer be a trans person? Does that make sense to you? What I'm trying to say is, if our goal, let's assume I really want to change the world, unless I'm just using the whole trans thing as just some kind of some story. Why would I want to do anything to further cement in people's mind that we're homicidal and terrible and rude and awful? Why wouldn't I instead want there to be something a little different? Why wouldn't I want there instead to be some rule something that says that no, this was somebody who was upset because of his take on other things. On I mean, he really focused on the trans thing, you know. Now, my position on that has always been simply this: I don't care about your trans thing. I don't care about that. What I care about, is when it affects children. What I care about is when you put kids through change of these mandatory hormonal blasts and the like. That's a different story. That's a different story. But why is Charlie Kirk, if you want to call yourself, if you were born a man or not, or born a boy, who gives a shit? Why does anybody care about this? Okay. And listen, I'm not trying to trivialize his thing. I'm not trying to trivialize his thing. But we're into this weird thing. See, in the old days, there was a person like Rush Limbaugh never really played up too much about the God thing because I don't think Rush was that religious. But if that's your thing, if you believe in God, and by the way, they say he was a really good, who was it? Benny Johnson, they said had some threats, and I heard that Charlie was a good guy. Let him stay with him and whatever. Listen, there's nobody, there are very few people that I know of whose quote message or reportage, other than Alex, because I still think his is the deepest. Candace Owens, representing this fight, she better watch her ass. Seriously. Always. Same thing for Nick. Same thing with Laura Loomer. Because these people are sick and they are calling for. They're listening. There's a bloodlust there. But here's the thing. I'll be goddamned if I'm going to go out there to make my mark on the world and risk my life for my cause to be whether Brigitte Macron is a man or not. Who cares? It's petty and it's mean. The only thing I've ever cared about, I've ever said, is what they do to kids. I don't care whether it doesn't matter to me. I don't want to go and spend my time trying to outsmart some trans, cis, gender fluid person with pink hair at a university. What am I accomplishing? You only see the ones where Charlie and Dinesh and other people in the past would shut them down. You never see the opposite where they clean their climb. It's a stupid argument. And I hope people not retreat from DEI, retreat from, tell people to men and women's sports and Title IX and UCLA. Yeah. But if you're some dude, if you're like, we exhibit this meanness, and I'm as guilty as the next person. When Rachel Levine, oh, how are you? I'm never. What the hell is this? Let me ask you a question. Answer me this. Be truthful. Did you hear the other night, when Greta Thunberg might have been, or her flotilla or part of her ship was attacked? They said it was a flare. Who knows what it was? Answer me this. Be honest. Do you think that if, God forbid, she had been killed during that attack, people who identify with, quote, our side, many of them themselves professed Christians, would have laughed their ass off? That Greta Thunberg, and I mean, can you imagine that? How dare you? She's dead. You don't think that's possible? You think that what? These are the only sick bastards out there? May not have been the same in terms of the number, but you better believe it. You better believe it. Look at the anger over Brigitte Macron, whether she's a man. Who cares? That's the meanest thing I've ever heard. It's like, what are you doing? What difference does it make? First of all, she's French. Second of all, who cares? It's mean. It's this nasty part. And that's what people loved about Candace Owens. It's mean. She's snotty and snot. I'm telling you. She had some great points going. She was all over the place with Kanye West. Don't think that our crew doesn't have its meanness too. Not on this level. Well, this is beyond anything you've ever seen. But this is look at how a lot of people on our side handle Michelle Obama. It's horrible, horrible. Big Mike, all these pictures. You know that somebody actually said to me, "Well, I saw this picture." It's like, are you kidding me? You don't even. We had this infantile fixation about whether she was a man. She's not a man. It's stupid. It's absolutely insane. It's so mean. And it's part of this parasocial nonsense. Let me give you an example of something. There's something very interesting. I want you to read this. I want you to listen to this. Mass formation psychosis. I love this. It's part of a like a group thing, so to speak. It's almost like Gustave Le Bon. Mass formation psychosis describes when entire populations slip into irrational groupthink, abandoning reason for emotional conformity. Fear, propaganda, and authority create a hypnotic trance where lies replace truth and obedience is mistaken for safety. History shows this in witch hunts, Nazi rallies, cultural revolutions. Today, endless crises manipulated by media and politicians drive the same hysteria. People cheer for policies and enslave them, cancel dissenters, and mock truth tellers. A nation under mass psychosis cannot self-correct until reality crashes through the illusion. The question is, who benefits from keeping us terrified, divided, and blind to common sense? Okay? That's what's interesting. And these people, but they are vicious. Let me tell you one thing. When I say our side, not you and me, but anybody who's been mean towards Brigitte or Michelle Obama, nobody called for their death. See, that's the difference between these people. We may be snotty. They're homicidal. They actually want this. They want revolution. These are the people that brought your Antifa. I'm telling you something. You want to sit around? God bless Charlie. He was tremendous at free speech. Nobody did this. Nobody got off their fat ass and went out and tried to do this. He was sitting almost like the Maharishi. He's sitting on this, risking his life. I'm sure his security detail, not one drone. And by the way, did anybody notice why is President Trump walking into a restaurant in D.C.? Did you see those people? They almost look surprised. That means they didn't know he was coming. That means they surprised him. There was one woman who was within stabbing distance. Remember, she took the pictures? Do you feel that? They need a Praetorian Guard and ninjas. Let me also tell you something. Never, ever, ever forget the fact that these people are so goddamn stupid and incompetent. You look at this. Look at Pam Bondi, Cash Patel. Where's Dan Bongino? He's out of the door. He's gone. They told him, just beat it. You know what? We won't formally shit can you. Just get out of here. Acting like a fool like that. And Pete Hegseth, hey, I can do my push-ups. That's good, Pete. Have you noticed how when Bobby Kennedy testifies, he looks like he's tired in a Barca lounger? Have you noticed that? You notice how he just sits kind of like he looks so bored. And they're arguing about whether we should be showing commercials for drugs on TV. Oh, come on, stop it. Listen to what I'm saying. There's going to be a war. Understand what I'm saying? It's going to be a war. They're just smelling blood. They're just warming these people up. You have no idea. They are warming people up. Right now, my friends, there was something which is very important. Again, you've never, ever, 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 ever heard Alex Jones better than ever. I still think he's the best. Period. Nobody gets near him. You're pointing right now, I hope, to what a lot of folks are referring to as the Podesta plan. Did you hear this? Did you hear the Transition Integrity Project? This is a War Games of August 2020. Who heard this? TIP, Transition Integrity Project. Anybody? Pay attention. And Al and others brought this up to our attention. And it works like this. Let me see if we can break this down clearly, I hope. Good. In summer of 2020, a group of, I guess you would say, political insiders and operatives and academics staged laptop simulations. You know how they do this. The Rothschilds, not the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers do it as well. They do this nonsense. They did it with COVID. They plan all these contingencies about what it will look like if this happened or that happened or that happened. Look at this. With will Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger rescue their beloved Macron? By the way, Burkina Faso, how about their position on homosexuals? And Sparky also says, Michelle's obviously a woman. One of her daughters looks like her. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah. There's also surrogacy. I don't want to go into that, but yeah, look, I just think it was a stupid waste of time, which a lot of people paid attention to. But let's talk about something which is very, very important. Listen to me, very, very important. Very, 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 very critical. Very, very critical. In summer of 2020, a group of political insiders and who operatives and academic types and deep staters and shadow government folks and globalists and academics, they stage tabletop simulations, which were called the Transition Integrity Project. By the way, I put that thing up for you on Insta, honey. John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's former campaign guy. Remember him? Remember Mr. Pizza? Remember all this? Remember this dude? He played the role of Joe Biden in one of the scenarios. And the exercise imagined different outcomes of the 2020 election. Biden wins, Trump wins, contested results, etc. Now, the most explosive scenario came when Podesta, who was role-playing as Biden, refused to concede after a Trump electoral college victory. And in that simulation, blue states like California, Oregon, and Washington threatened secession unless concessions were granted. And the TIP documents also foresaw mass protests, possible violence, and even a military standoff. Essentially, a breakdown of the system. What that was it provided for you a blueprint for what they could recreate right now at any time. They are ready to go revolution like this, like that. So Alex and others, by the way, thank you, Raul. Alex and others immediately seized on this. Another called it a blueprint for civil war, which is precisely what it was. The argument was that the Democrats couldn't steal it cleanly at the ballot box. So what they did was they would openly prepare to unleash race riots, chaos in blue cities, pressure campaigns to delegitimize Trump's presidency. You see, in Jones's framing, and it's phenomenal. It wasn't just a simulation. It was a plan. It was a blueprint. It amounted to fantasizing, in essence, about states marching on Washington, destabilizing the country, and even taking out Trump, with Secret Service as the last line of defense. Do you trust the Secret Service? Does he have a Praetorian Guard? No. No. This became the major talking point. The TIP. This is war games. This is a script for civil unrest. This is what you've got. You got to sit back and really look at the big picture. Don't worry about these interstitial moments. Was this Israel about this? Ask yourself, if there was ever shit hit the fan revolution in this country, what would we do? We don't do anything. Nobody fears us. Nobody fears us. Let me try to tell you this again. When MLK was assassinated, They went berserk because he was the leader of the civil rights movement. JFK, RFK, singular. Charlie Kirk is not the leader of a huge faction. He's extremely important, extremely critical. But the problem is, we are not going to take to the streets. We are not going to loot. We are not going to do this. We don't do this. If something had happened to President Trump, God forbid, we would have done nothing. Now, be very clear. I'm glad we don't. This is uncivilized. We're not animals. We're not savages. We don't riot when something goes wrong. It doesn't work like that. But those people do. Those people do. We are outmanned. Multiple victims right now at the Naval Academy. See what's happening? And once the contagion starts, it keeps going. It's almost like you don't have to tell these people what to do. It's like a baby crying. They just sense this is revolution. Not only that, if I wanted to, I could have, if I was a very nasty, dark, horrible person, I could have situated all across the country. I could have a series of people, crazy people, if you will, lined up, ready to go when I said go. All over the country, I could have by sector. Do you have your crazy person? Yes, I do. Do you have your crazy person? Yes, I do. You ready to go? I'm ready to go. You ready to go? I'm ready. Okay. Just let us know. Thank you very much. Let us know. Terrific. We will let you know. Is that it? That's right. We will let you know. I can have for you. Do you want race riots? I got race riots. What would you like? Tell me what you like. Would you like some clan type militia person? I got those. What else would you like? Would you like somebody who, do you want a lunatic, another arena? And I can do that for you. Would you like a trans person doing this? Would you like a gay person? Would you like a Trump supporter? I will create this scenario. I got them. Tell me what you want. Would you like a Scientologist? Would you like a Baptist? Would you like some Catholic? How about this? Would you like some imagine if I could get an Orthodox Jew with the payas, the tzitzis, the kippah, the whole bit, beard, taking out a family of Palestinian. Do you know what that would do? You don't think that's possible? I'll do that. I'll get them for you. Nate, tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Raul says, will Charlie's demise change anything? Yes, but not necessarily for us. What are we going to do? Let me tell you again, nothing. We're going to watch comedy shows we're going to watch Megyn Kelly cry with Glenn Beck. That's it. We're going to watch Nick Fuentes say this. Laura Loomer's going to say this. Alex is going to say this. Maybe you'll watch Levin scream, or maybe you'll, I don't know. But that's it. We just talk. We're pussies and pushovers. We don't mean anything. President Trump still, it's kind of like he can't even get the Epstein thing right. Let me ask you a question. I love the guy because there's nobody else. Are you real impressed with what he's done so far? Are you real impressed? So far, the president has been in office. He has been in office. This is important. Hang on a minute. He has been 234 days. 234 days he has been in office. And the question is, this is very, very important. You got your thing, right? Your Insta thing, honey? Okay. 234 days is what percentage of Trump's second term? Think about that. Let's ask our GPT friends or chat GPT. And that is 234 days. We're looking at this. Represents, very quickly, 16% of his term completed out of 1,461 days. Okay. Are you happy with what Trump's done so far? Anybody? Anybody? Your 401k is impressed. That's it? That's it? You like the Rose Garden thing? You like this? I like what he's done a couple of things. Feds are good. How about the Epstein thing? Was that handled well? No. We go after the cartels? No. How many deportations are there? Few arrests. Big showy show. I'm not impressed. I'm not. That's not the way I would do it. It's like we started. He picks Pam Bondi. Listen, I think the world of her. She's a great person. Are you kidding me? The only thing he's done is lock up John Bolton. He didn't lock up John Bolton. It was a search warrant. Roger Stone got locked up. No, nobody's like the only people who have been charged with anything were a couple of judges, state judges, who may have instructed other people how to get away with it. I'm not impressed with Trump at all. This is nothing. Nobody's been arrested. 234 days? What are you doing? You should have been ready to go. You should have. What about that Project 20? What's that called? Project 2025 or what's it called? Yeah, remember that? Do that. He kept saying, "Oh, I'm not going to do it." Well, do it. What's the matter with you? What do you do? All this posturing. What are you going to do? You want to what? Let me tell you something. Believe it or not, Muriel Bowser, the mayor of D.C., says, "Don't you do this. Don't you come in and clean up my city and have crime drop so that I can take credit for it. No way. Hey." I don't know. Nothing. Pete Hegseth, did you see him do that mission accomplished where he's on the deck? He loves dressing up. He loves it. I can do push-ups. Bobby Kennedy, I can do push-ups. What is this? I don't know what's going on here. Christy Noem walking around like a DHS Barbie. You know who also turned out to be an absolute flop is a Susie Wiles. She's nothing. She's part of the Ballard group. She and Pam Bondi work for the Ballard. You know, Sparky knows about that. Look, we're running out of time. And guess who's next? J.D. Vance. You know who's going to put him in the pot? Peter Thiel, Palantir. They're going to put it this way. Vance is going to hand over the government to Peter Thiel. They own everything then. And you'll think it's great. You'll think it's great because it's AI or you won't understand it. Listen, understand something. Do me a favor. You can mourn and think at the same time. Mourn for Charlie Kirk. Think about his family. He did a lot of great stuff. He basically was taken out because of what he said. That's it. I don't care who did. Whether it's Mossad, whether it's Amman, Israeli military intelligence, whether it was MI6, ISI, DNI, I don't know. He was taken out because of what he said. Period. End of discussion. That's why they did it. And when people say he wasn't a hero for dying, but he was a hero for doing that, they must have told him a couple of times. But we'll get to that issue later. But let me tell you something. Let me just You know, when I talk about this, it's so funny. Whenever I talk about this, when I brought up this prepare with Lionel first time, you know, somebody told me, well, I got a fishing pole. I swear to God, I'll never forget it. I said, you got a fishing pole? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I got a fishing pole. You got a fishing pole. You're going to go on and catch bream? What are you going to do with your fish? What are you going to do with your fish once you catch it? Huh? Prepare with Lionel.com. What are you going to do? What about the ice? How are you going to keep it? What if there's no power? What are you talking about? Well, we've got some spaghetti. People are always fighting. We put all of our effort into thinking of the wildest scenarios. Well, you see, Mossad, okay, fine. Now, meanwhile, the left or the radical left, whoever these people are, they don't know anything about that. They just go on TikTok and they drive you crazy. And what do? We keep telling them, look at what they've done. Can somebody tell me, do me a favor? Somebody raise your hand. Answer me a question. Why do we keep posting pictures about what everybody says? Why do we do that? Answer me. Anybody? Why do we keep showing pictures of every TikTok, every lunatic who says something? Hello, my pronouns are, that's right. And I would be called Murr. Not Mr., not Mrs., but Murr. Like Francis, incense, frankincense, and Murr. You getting this? Why do we keep on? Did you see this? Libs of TikTok, bless her heart, all she does is just provide a new platform. Why don't we do this? Let's go 24 hours and not tweet anything about some asshole who walks around with pink hair and a studded nose saying something terrible. Is it a deal? Is it a deal? Why do we do this? We are the most stupid people I've ever seen in my life. We get offended, and we think that being offended, I've had it. You understand what I'm saying? I turned my Wuzu, best thing ever bought. Best thing. The Wuzu, best fan there is. So anyway, my friends, that's it. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Because I've been watching this all day and I'm listening. I'm saying nobody's even remotely talking about this. They're basically waiting for people to say things that other folks say on TV shows. That's what they do. They're waiting to say, if somebody else talks about it, they talk about it. So, Sparky, my friend, you were magnificent tonight, this eve. Thank you so much. Clona Steve Dreamkiller, our physician, trauma surgeon expert, and neurologist, thank you. Eduardo Camilo, thank you. Raul, thank you. Johnny Maz, the Spaz, thank you as well. And don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. She did maybe the best interview, I think, today with two women that are, goes up tomorrow. They were phenomenal. And one that went up today, where's Heat Initiative? At 8:00, check out Lynn's Warriors. Unless you're a member, it's up now. Watch this interview with Lennon Torres from the Heat Initiative. Phenomenal. Also, Mrs. L is going to be a guest of the Cats Roundtable, I think, on Sunday. Oh, she's in demand now, my friends. And she's also the newest addition to Warrior Wednesdays on our little thing on WABC. Huh? She'll be in DC next week doing. Oh, she's so busy. Anyway, so that's that. Don't forget, tune in tonight, 1 to 5 a.m., ladies and germs. 1 to 5 a.m. on WABC. The best nuanced show like you can't believe. And some of the callers, oh my God. One guy was blaming the communists again. You love communists, Jews, Mossad, communist Israel, Marxist, Mossad, anything Mossad. Mossad is the, I can see them saying, they think it's us again. I know. Why? Because don't correct them. I won't. But we had nothing to do. I know, but don't. I know what you're thinking. And we'll do it next time. All right, dear friends, thank you for watching. Have a great and glorious day. Make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation right here. Lionel Nation. Subscribe. Many times people are unsubscribed. I don't know why. Lionel Nation. Do it right now. All right, dear friends. Anybody see the Charlie Sheen documentary? This guy was stooping mud, Venetian blinds, snakes. He's all over the place. I think you know what he is. I think you know what he is. There's a word for that, but we can't say it. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tomorrow. Send your love and your prayers and your focus and your energy to Charlie and his family, because what happened to him should happen to no one, left, right, or it doesn't matter, because he was martyred for what he said. That's all. All right, dear friends, we'll talk to you next time. But don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.